typical bistro meals. You're drinking it with a really good bottle of red wine. Now here's a trick. If you can swing it, we're going to do equal parts red wine and stock. And if you go both at the same time, you get a pretty good idea, and you put about the same amount. Turn that down just a tiny bit. It's about a cup each. There we go. And then we're going to let this cook, and it's going to start reducing down, kind of, getting in there with all those shallots. We're going to add a little bit of butter to this at the end in order to bring that sauce together, kind of thicken it a tiny bit, and then it's going to go over top of our flank steak. So let's leave that alone. It's time for those profiteroles and the gougères to come out of the oven. Nice. Okay. Smell these. So pretty. So we've got our gougères with a little bit of Gruyere cheese and some cracked black pepper in them. And then we also have our profiteroles. Now we're going to let those cool off because we're going to split them in a second to let some of the steam out so they stay nice and crisp. But we're going to fill those with vanilla ice cream. So we don't want those to be hot when the ice cream goes in, or we have melted ice cream, which is not the point of this dessert. But we're going to let them sit for just another second while I go over to the flank steak. So we've got this beautiful piece of meat. It's about 1.5 pounds. Now, flank steak, great cut of meat. It can be a little bit chewy because it's got these long striations to the meat. Now, that's the reason why when you're doing flank steak, you're going to want to cut it on the diagonal. So we're going to be cutting across those fibers so that we break them, and we get nice tender bits in our mouth. All right, salt and pepper, a little olive oil, crank up the heat there on the grill. When it hits the grill, we want to be sure that it gets a good, hard sear. Now, that's also important with the salt. You kind of want to do more salt than intuitively you think you want, because it's not just for flavor, but of course it is going to be a little flavor, but it's also because it's going to start drawing the juices up out of the meat. And it's those juices, when they hit that really hot grill pan, that are going to form that crust that sears in all of that really good meaty flavor. And flank steak has a really beautiful meaty flavor. All right, hot pan. Get that on. Okay. Hear that? Isn't that pretty? All right. Okay, so we've got meat going, we've got potatoes going. Give these a little shake. That looks good. The profiteroles. Now, like I said, we're going to split these. Now, you want to keep these nice and crispy because the idea is to have a contrast between that cold ice cream inside, which is, of course, going to melt, and you've got this chocolate sauce over the top, and we want these to stay as crisp as possible. So when we split them, these have cooked in the oven kind of by steaming. That's what gives the rise to the dough. So when we cut them, the little slit, start letting some of that steam out, and we're also making like a little clamshell that we can tuck our little bit of vanilla ice cream right inside. When we come back, we're going to be finishing off our sauce, finishing our steak, putting this meal together.
Tonight, Robert's in the holiday spirit.
I get to give you the key. We're going to your house.
Celebrate the miracle of giving with an all-new one-hour Dinner Impossible, part of Season's Eatings. Tonight at 10, 9 Central on Food Network.
Have you ever led an expedition? Have you ever been honored by the Louvre? Have you ever protected nobility? Have you ever seen the curvature of the earth? Range Rover, designed for the extraordinary.
Mucinex DM breaks up mucus and quiets coughing. Mucinex DM, you've ruined my beauty sleep. And it lasts for 12 hours. Mucinex in, mucus out.
Rachel Ray here, just topping off my holiday deviled ham dip with a little sliced olives. And now for the Ritz. Guys, where are the Ritz?
Are we rolling?
Look for more of Rachel's recipes on the Bisco holiday boxes. People
know that if there are experts who can help prevent a problem, they should call them. So if you've got an adjustable rate mortgage that will soon climb to a much higher payment, or one that already has, call Ditech today, your fix-your-arm headquarters. Find out how you may be able to lower your payments each month by refinancing into a low fixed rate. And Ditech has never had hidden costs, so you pay just our low $395 flat fee. Don't wait. Call Ditech now at 1-800-DITECH-1.
Why do I use Restylane? To lose these wrinkles and my inhibitions.
I use it to hide my real age because he thinks I'm younger than I am. I use it to look good, even in fluorescent lighting.
Restylane is the #1 selling injectable dermal filler in the world. It restores youthful volume to smooth away facial wrinkles for natural-looking results. Typically, in one visit to your doctor. Restylane corrects the lines from your nose to the corners of your mouth. Redness, tenderness, swelling, and bruising may occur after injection and normally go away in 7 days. Ask your doctor if Restylane is right for you. Go to RestylaneTV.com to see before and after pictures and to find out about exclusive money-saving offers.
Welcome back. So we've been working on this festive bistro meal. We've got our cracked potatoes. Now these have been cooking on low heat, and a couple minutes ago I took the lid off and we added some slivered garlic just for a little bit more perfume. And because that temperature was so low, we don't have burnt garlic. Instead we've got these really pretty sort of chewy pieces of garlic, and I know I'm going to give myself a couple over here to taste. Now these potatoes are going to go so great with our flank steak and our red wine sauce. And finish up that sauce with a little bit of butter. Okay, so now the butter, about a tablespoon, right in, and then off the heat. Now what we want to do is we want to let that butter sort of melt into the sauce. Now it's going to gloss it up. It's going to give it kind of a pretty shine. It's also going to be kind of almost like a thickening step. So make certain that that sauce has a really nice texture that's just going to sort of puddle down over our pieces of flank steak. So pretty. Okay, now when you do a sauce, always want to be sure you taste it, because you're never 100% positive about seasoning. So let's give it a taste. Oh my gosh, okay, glorious with the red wine and the caramelized shallots. You can use a little tiny bit more salt. Okay, that's good. Okay, so I'm going to leave that off the heat while I go back over to that steak. Okay, so the steak, we grilled it about 5 to 7 minutes on one side, gave it a turn over about 3 more minutes. We're going for a nice rare piece of meat. This flank steak is something that's great when it's rare, medium rare. We're going to cut it across the grain. You can see on the inside how that meat is still nice and pink. Look at that. And when we took it off, let it sit over here on the board for a few minutes. We want to make sure those juices are kind of redistributed inside the meat. Always want to let your meat, when it comes off the grill, always want to be sure that it sits for just a little bit of time. Let those juices come back out. Give myself a couple pieces. Isn't that pretty? All right. A little bit of red wine sauce. Some of those shallots. Nice. Okay, this is my bite. Cook always gets the first bite. Oh, that's good. Those potatoes. They're creamy inside. They've got a nice crisp crust. So good. Okay. I could keep eating that, but I'm going to go on to dessert. Remember we made those gougères? They're cheesy. They've got the black pepper. And then here's the plain version that we did with our profiteroles. Now to finish these off, I've got some store-bought vanilla ice cream, a little bit inside each one, and then we've got some chocolate sauce. It's been warming on the stove. Pour some over the top. get that contrast of sort of hot sauce, cold ice cream. I'm digging in.